The man unconsciously glanced at the cup in his hand, and then he suddenly turned the throw into the hotel window. When you see the glass is intact, the man was once again burning with anger. He's quick. Get another medal. From the counter straight to the glass door. This time the glass finally showed a crack. And then the man threw the third one. The hotel glass didn't break. The man is really angry, so I decided to go all the way. He took out the most valuable medal. 3.5 turns to get momentum. I've spent my whole life throwing it out the hotel window. The next second, the window broke. E.G. next door startled by your actions. You don't understand what's going on with your boyfriend. Then the male I don't takes out a coil of rope, and despite everyone's inhibitions, I ran to get the momentum from the window. However, the handrails were to legs, so I couldn't hold on and fell down. Fortunately, in times of danger, I was just in time to attach to the lower eaves, but the way you treat life like a joke. It scared my parents. They hastily tightened the rope to pull up the beloved son. I can't believe it's even more dangerous to do so. Fortunately, the EU side was timely reminded, so they dropped the male iron. Of course, you use your climbing skills to climb to the opposite side. Turns out, this city has been dumped by bandits with a large amount of poison gas. LAN transmission speed of toxic gas is very fast. Soon enough, LAN to the middle floor of the building. There's no other way. Everybody's running up to the roof. Suddenly, the big door above was locked. Even worse, the manager forgot the key to the door in the office. If you want to open the door, someone has to come down while wearing an oxygen mask. But whether this thing is resistant to poison gas or not, we still can't be sure, so no one dares to mess with their own lives. In an emergency to save your family, NAM decided to venture to the roof. To open the door, the EU also kindly threw you a chalk to crumble it. Can be used as charcoal powder, thanks to Ealing's encouragement. Men also become more confident, and then you jump on the roof. As he climbed to the top of the tower, he picked up the thrown iron stick, ready on the ground. Look at the wall not far away. I pray in my heart, and then we're going straight there. Fortunately, the strength of his arm is amazing, so I grabbed a concrete outcrop. Everyone is amazed at your actions. I don't NAM gasp for a long breath here, and start slowly climbing up, because there's a lot of concrete out there. So in the beginning, everything went well. To make it easier to track the position of the male, I don't. The people down there even took out their phones and go live. His parents saw him and Tim thundered, worried about choking. Soon the male I don't began to crawl towards the edge of the window. Beneath your feet is not only the abyss, there's also a lot of dangerous gases. If not, because you're constantly training your arm strength, you may have fallen a long time ago. Under E.G.'s watchful gaze, I crawled across smoothly to the other side. After a short break in place, you continue carefully towards your destination. Looking up at the smooth wall above, I took some chalk dust and used it. It's to seal the cracks in the rock. Every step I take is very careful. Just a small mistake will also lead to terrible consequences. With a wall like this, it is difficult to find a firm grip for the feet. So in most cases, you have to rely on the strength of your arms to move. As soon as the south I don't pass the carved stone wall, he reached out and touched the street lamp above, but discovered it is completely unable to bear its own weight. Just hold it gently and it will pop out. Begrudge, he had to crawl to the side to find another way out. Fortunately, there are a few rocks jutting out that you can hold onto. The distance to the roof is not far, but right now the ropes stretch to the limit. No matter how hard you try, I can't even touch the cliffs above. After a few seconds of thinking, I don't NAM made a crazy decision. The next second, he suddenly unlocks the safety lock. EDU saw that and shouted in panic, trying to stop him. Unfortunately, it's too late. I don't NAM has started climbing this wall by hand. No. The protective cords will definitely die if they fall down. Fortunately, I don't NAM regularly participates in climbing classes. Not long after he arrived in front of the bronze statue. Right after that, he jumped up and grabbed the statue's mouth. I can't believe this is a sloppy construction. As soon as you try to climb, a tooth of the stone statue was broken. This incident almost made me fall. In time to react, he gripped the mouth of the stone statue. Everyone who knows about climbing knows that, in this situation, the influence of the center, it's hard to get to the top, rely entirely on the strength of one's own arm. However, just put your foot up and you're half done. Finally, thanks to the extraordinary arm strength, I don't NAM has successfully climbed. My parents saw this. Hurry up to the roof. You risked your life to save everyone. However, this is only temporary, because the gas below is about to LAN up. So this isn't a place to stay for long. That's when a helicopter happened to arrive. Everyone immediately shouted for help. But here's the rescue team. It is hard to see them. Fortunately, the smart you has come up with a way. She told everyone to turn on their flashlights, then put in order. Form the letter H. Let the plane know there's a landing pad. Next is to flash 3 short times to indicate the letter SN, and bar times the length represents the letter O. This is a common international distress signal. However, this weak light makes SAO easily visible. People think their voices are too small, so they brought a speaker. But the results haven't changed. Currently EU. I saw the rainbow lights next to me, and suddenly came up with this idea. So she immediately went to the main control room. Then there's a series of toggles. Make the light flashing continuously. NAM I don't is also not out of admiration. E.g.'s intelligence and talent. Finally, when everyone's power is about to run out, the rescue team found it. They saw the helicopter fly this way. Everyone was cheering for joy. It is finally saved now. However, as people are pushing in, the EU just put a foot up. The next second, the cage issues an overload warning. The rescue team saw that and immediately closed the door. I don't NAM hastily begged them to at least take EU written up. The next helicopter is coming. Please wait a moment. At that time, I let go and decided to wait for the next one. I don't NAM understood that. The next helicopter is coming. It's a fantasy, even though they have struggled. I just found a helicopter. But I'll never leave EDU. That go alone. In the end, they both had to stay in the same place. The next moment, the EU was crying out of fear. Not expected. Now there's another helicopter. When the light shines on both of you, they immediately felt the whole world lit up. But even when you're talking, then I realized the plane was flying in the other direction. Turns out, there's someone on the roof crying for help, and there's a helipad on the roof of their house. Just by looking at them, they're from the upper class. Moreover, their number is larger. So the rescue team didn't hesitate to pick them. They both lost their chance to be saved. Even worse is, the poison gas was laying up to the roof soon enough. It will devour the whole building. You've got to find some climbing gear. Then, put on protective gear and start running to the higher floors. I don't look phone. And the time has passed by 7 minutes. This little oxygen mask. It can't last very long. Choose the nearest building. It's like this place has been swallowed by toxic smoke for a long time. NAM looked at the phone. I found out I had less than 10 seconds left, so immediately take the last oxygen mask out of the bag. Then he glanced at ELU. I see you're not paying attention to yourself. Open the bag and change the mask yourself. By the time EDU found out, it was too late. She asked I don't what NAM was doing. You didn't answer. It even stops you from moving forward. And so it was under Ela's astonished eyes. I put on the last mask. After it's done, I left you and escaped alone. ELU was immediately so angry that he couldn't stand it. But you can just stay where you are and just curse. You wish. The gas below could instantly kill this guy. But it's useless to say anything now. The important thing is to find a way to protect your life. The gas is now toxic, was almost LAN all over her body. And now the only thing you can do is climb up. Because you also learned to climb mountains. So climbing to the top of this tower, it is not so difficult. After escaping death, she still cannot help but scolded her boyfriend for being ungrateful. At this time, she discovered that NAM I don't had returned. After arriving, no matter how much Ichi beats and scolds him, he doesn't care. He quickly took out an oxygen mask, brand new and worn for her. Turns out, you went down there to find an oxygen mask. The South, I don't understands that the lower it goes, the more dangerous it is. Moreover, I am not sure. Can it be found down there? And just a little mistake will cause poisoning and death. So this is why he went down on his own. There's a new oxygen mask. You two continue on the run. Then they went to a sports arena. I want to climb to the opposite roof, but it's blocked by a gutter. But EDU quickly came up with the idea. It's using weights to build a bridge. I don't NAM coordinated with her throwing things through. Just like that, EDU grabbed the rope and crawl forward, only to find that you're still missing. If you haven't crawled a few steps, you've lost one. It almost fell down. Fortunately, I don't NAM promptly grabbed the rope. Through the last team, the EU is now completely unable to move around. Can only slowly move forward. And finally, thanks to her flexibility, she came to the other shore. I don't NAM saw that. Quickly pick up our batch and crawl under the rope forward. I can't believe this time. A crisis is quietly approaching. Turns out everyone was busy running away. The hot pot's hood couldn't turn off in time. That all the toxic gases get sucked in, then spray out from the vent. Yeah, you realized this and hurriedly called I don't NAM. I don't NAM saw that. You have to move quickly forward. But when you see the gas coming closer to you, he hurried back and told ELU to leave quickly. And I'll stay here and find another way. But ELU-SAO may not understand. NEM wants to sacrifice himself. You see the gas approaching. You unconsciously back off. I didn't expect to be blocked by a rope. You're still hesitating about whether to remove it, safety latch or not. But once removed, NEM will not be able to ignore anymore, even when you're wondering. Then a dumbbell suddenly flew in, falling straight at your feet. Then, I just saw the NEM quickly crawl out of the toxic smoke. In this way, the two of you succeed in turning the danger into an escape from the accident. To the roof, two people found some plastic models used to pretend. There's a lot of people here to call a rescue helicopter. Currently, I found a group of students trapped. And the roof of the building they're in is locked down. I can't go up there to call for help. Now, a brave man stood out. I want to climb through the billboard outside. Climb to the roof to open the door. But for lack of climbing skills, just a little careless to fall. Fortunately, he had a rope on him. You two can only worry about that. Fortunately, a helicopter arrived. The rescue team had a pretty good eye this time. I immediately paid attention to them. But you couldn't. Look at the students in the classroom. I don't see. Temporarily fell into a dilemma nan. On the one hand, it's about survival. On the other hand, to save others. After a long time thinking about the people, they finally decided to give this chance of survival for the students. Then you and I don't mail put all the mannequins to the ground. Then they lie there too, looking down here like a big arrow. The person in the rescue team who looked at it understood immediately, so immediately turn around and fly in the direction of the classroom. That's how all the students were saved. It's a shame you guys missed a chance to escape. It's worse than. There was a second explosion in the gas tanker. This makes the LA gas go faster. To see this scene, they decided to go to the tallest building to try their luck. At this point, a role appeared. Turns out the family's always been there. After being rescued, find a way to save two lives. It's a coincidence to meet a group of reporters, so they spent money to get them to fly the plane. No driver to find his son, and expected to find the reel and the reporters. To make more money, they're selling the rights to live broadcasts for TV station. Very quickly, the major platforms went live. The life and death of two people. But when you two struggle to get to the location, they're blocked by a gutter. And this time, the distance is really too far. Previous method of throwing weights, certainly no longer effective. Now, it's a luxury for you to come back, because there's already a large venomous bone in the back. They've gone through a lot of trouble to find a way of life. But now they're stuck here. At this moment, you can't control your emotions anymore. They've obviously saved a lot of lives. But God won't let them go. When you are ready to accept reality, we've just seen countless drones appear. It turned out that the audience was the courage of the conquerors. People don't stand by and they run to help. They've used drones to dispel the surrounding toxic gas. I don't name saw that. Immediately see how to get to the opposite building. It's using a drone that's carrying wires. Then tie it in one place to fix. Finally, under the skillful control of the operator, the rope is very quickly tied into a conduit. Right after that, I don't NAM and the drone together power. The rope finally knotted. Turns out you want to slide along this rope, then climb on that crane. It's too bad you haven't missed halfway. Was stuck. Once again fell into a dilemma nan. And the rope over there is loose now. It looks like it's about to fall. Fortunately, Eju was quick to ride on. I don't NAM. Then she took out a pair of scissors from her pocket. Turns out you want to use this to throw over there. Unfortunately, the accident happened when the helicopter arrived. There's only so much poison gas left. The two men's silhouettes are gone. As soon as they are ready to return, the observer accidentally glanced at the crane. It turns out that you two are miraculously alive. Turns out that rolls stuck in the pipeline saved their lives. With the arrival of the rescue plane this time, they were finally saved. Movie content error. The escape here is over.